We arrived in Melbourne, Australia, and were whisked off to a very nice hotel. Our guide, Tiggy Garner, gave us maps.
Here's Southern Cross Station. And here's Little Collins Street.
Then took us on a little tour of the downtown. The next day, we visited a garden honoring John F. Kennedy and the St. Patrick's Catholic Cathedral. Other stops included the Royal Exhibit Hall and the Melbourne Museum. We also visited the Shrine of Remembrance, Australia's monument honoring their unknown soldier and all others who have served. There is a great view of the Melbourne skyline from the top. A highlight of the visit to Melbourne was a trip to Phillip Island to see the nightly penguin parade. The scenery on the remote Pacific island was breathtaking. The parade itself is a big production with hundreds of people viewing the 12 to 14-inch fairy penguins return home to their hillside homes about dusk. The next day, we went to the Dandenong Ranges National Park near Melbourne with its many eucalyptus trees and fern gullies. Also living wild in the forest are the friendly cockatoos.
Wait for it, put your head up. There you go, right there.
While in the forest, we boarded the Puffing Billy steam train on our way to the Yarra Valley wine-growing region. Our first stop was at Ferguson's Winery and Restaurant for a wonderful lunch at Dixon's Creek. The second winery we visited was Di Bortoli's, just down the valley. We flew Qantas Airlines throughout Australia, which included special treats for lunch. Our next stop was Alice Springs in the desert in the middle of the continent. It is a unique place. Our first stop is Anzac Hill, a memorial for fallen soldiers on top of a hill with great views of Alice Springs. Alice Springs is remote, and the Flying Doctor Service was started in the 1930s to get doctors and patients together in the Outback. It continues today on a national basis with modern aircraft and internet monitoring. The School of the Air is another unique Australian innovation to get education to the widely scattered ranching families. It started out with radio broadcasting, but is now on the internet with video. But it now has more competition from other online teachers and is in danger of folding. Our fourth stop was Telegraph Hill, 4 kilometers north of town. It served as the site of a telegraph relay station to help the big cities in the south connect with Mother England in 1872. After radio came into use in the 1930s, it was turned into a school and home for Aboriginal children. It is preserved today as a historic interpretive display. There is an independent Aboriginal village nearby. The night was spent at a very nice hotel near a casino and restaurants. After a good night's sleep, we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch a bus to the Outback for a hot air balloon ride. It's an amazingly beautiful way to see nature.
And it's actually sitting this very blue you're standing in, so we know you go to 40,000 feet. This can't take you 40.
That's why it's pulled in.
It's 40 on the outside, perfect. Northwest direction in front of us. We can't steer the balloon like you can with a car or an aeroplane. So we're effectively on a one-way trip. Okay, so you might see the lights over there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking at probably going to land out over there somewhere, hopefully. See some poles on the left hand side over here, some of this track here behind us as well. That's the old telegraph line. So the telegraph line is why Alice Springs is here to start with, because of the telegraph station. Oh, it could be rabbits, actually, or they might be large business or something like that. Oh, they're normal size here. Yeah. They need a room with a view.
I ain't as big as jackrabbits. Jackrabbits stand about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, come down to the Southern Gate, Duncan, at this stage.
Southern Gate, copy that.
Yeah, right there. I'm hoping to try and get the drawer though, okay? But let's just see how we go. Okay, just give me a quick to Southern Gate to stand by there for a couple of minutes.
It was an old car.
Oh.
Have you ever come down to private property before?
Just a second, sorry?
Have you ever come down to private property? That's all.
Let's make our landings here in front of us here. So it's like put your cameras down now. Slowly rotate.
Rod in my back.
Yeah, that'll be fine. You right
Okay, Tiggy, show us how it's done.
Jump out!
Am I allowed to get out?
I don't know. I think everybody below us.
The balloon's pretty
Guys,
much.
you guys okay to stay there for a minute?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give these guys a hand.
After our balloon ride, we settled into a long bus ride to Uluru. It was hot, and we stopped midway at Erldunda to see some desert animals.
And did we have one hoof camels or two hoof camels? We had one hoof camels, did we?
I'm right foot. I'm coming. Oh, I know you gotta.
Whoa! I feel like they're gonna fall off when they get up. Walk after them.
Michael of Arabia.
That's great. Keep back looking at me.
We arrived at Uluru just in time for a sunset viewing. Uluru is a large sandstone formation in central Australia.
There she is, the curvy black line. See there in the rock? Okay, so that's Kunyak. This formation here is Luru, the male warrior, the poisonous snake.
It is owned and managed by the traditional owners of the land, the Pitjantjatjara tribe, who have been there for perhaps 10,000 years. It is used for ceremonies and is the basis of their laws. The other part of the national park is a similar formation, Kata Juta, which can no longer be seen up close. The heat brought out the sandflies and birds. We caught a Qantas flight to Cairns that afternoon to see the Great Barrier Reef. Once back in Cairns, we ordered fried kangaroo and crocodile as an appetizer. The rainforest visit got rained out, so we headed to our last stop in Sydney. On our first night in Sydney, we took a dinner cruise in the harbour to see the famed bridge and opera house. The food and the viewing were excellent. The city tour the next day included a nearby open space to get a view of the bridge and the opera house. This is the famous Bondi Beach, known for its surfing waves and just plain beautiful beach. The highlight was a chance to go into the Sydney Opera House, a UNESCO-listed site.
The three resident companies are Sydney Symphony Orchestra, Australian Chamber Orchestra and Sydney Philharmonic Choir. So it's designed for their use, but we have all kinds of events in here as well. So this is all made out of timber. It's an acoustically designed venue, so for that non-amplified symphony orchestra sound.
On our last day in Sydney, we went to the Featherdale Wildlife Park to see many of the unique animals in Australia.
We're kind of wedged into their napping positions. There he's doing a little bit of that. There he is. Turning around for you. Get his picture taken. Take your picture now. He's looking at us.
Yeah. On your bag. Yeah. And then there's one back there.
That's a good shot, eh? I'm like, no way.
Stretch here for
Oh my goodness. Sit back. Okay, I gotta do this. Get a photo of you. It's oats.
I think it's grass.
He said it was fortified with oats.
Oh dear.
There's enough on the ground, they don't need ours.
맨날 보는 게 캥거루인데 난 와줘야지 와줘야지 얘네들 딱 오면 되는데
That's that kookaburra.
No, the kookaburra's down there.
This guy is a.
So he's called a tawny frogmouth.
They're fruiters, huh?
Nasaan Carla? Wala yata.
See how they follow each other.
They're so tiny compared to when I took Yuri to SeaWorld. They're massive penguins.
Okay na ako.
We celebrated our 2-week visit to the friendly continent of Australia at a farewell dinner. Some of us went home, others went on to New Zealand, but that's another video.